Queen of the Falls. As you can see, it's a picture of Niagara Falls with a barrel going over it. Queen of the Falls is made by Chris Van Allsburg. He is the author of this book. Queen of the Falls is a book about a woman who went over Niagara Falls in a barrel and survived. This is Niagara Falls. It is partly in USA and Canada. It's a seeing destination for tourists all over the world. This is a picture of how she taught the children. In this picture, she's yelling at the child for doing something bad. The mood here is sad. The drawings are made of pencil, probably. We were not sure because we could not find the exact information for that. The child seems sad and depressed. On the left, you have a painting, which is split in half by the divider. I think that this was very good, and I liked the choosing of doing this because I thought it was very nice that they chose to do that thing right there and have two chairs also split in half. So when you move it together, they go together, and it makes this picture really come alive. Another picture from Queen of the Falls. I think that this 3D element right here was very good, and I liked how it was used. I thought that it really brought together how the book was supposed to go. This is where she works and where she actually teaches the children how to learn. This is her school where she's the teacher, and I thought that was very good on how to bring it out, and that made a big difference in the story. The next morning, filled with excitement, Annie began planning her ride. She knew no ordinary barrel would do. Something special was called for. Annie drew a picture of a barrel that would suit for her needs. A barrel that would be incredibly strong and just the right size for its passenger. She took her drawing to a workshop where men built barrels, mostly for holding things such as pickles and beer. The foreman of the shop had never seen a barrel like the one Annie had drawn and asked what it was for. When she shared her plans to ride the barrel over Niagara Falls, the man looked at Annie in disbelief. He handed the drawings back and informed her his shop would build no such thing. This idea was madness, he told her. If she wanted to kill herself, she'd have to do it on her own. Annie went back to her room and continued to dream of the fame and fortune that would be hers once she conquered the falls. She looked at her drawings and was certain she would be safe no matter how violent the ride. As Annie put the finishing touches on the barrel, she began planning her trip. She needed a manager, someone to go to Niagara Falls ahead of her and stir up interest among the local newspaper reporters and tell them about the amazing lady Daredevil who would be arriving soon to conquer the mighty falls. She hired Frank Russell, a Bay City man who had worked at carnivals and fairs. When they first met, Frank Russell was surprised by Annie's appearance. She looked exactly like the aging, charmed school teacher she was, and nothing like the death-defying daredevil she was determined to become. This is a picture of Annie and her barrel being pulled by men in a rowboat. The men rowed away from the island, drawing closer to the point of no return, a place where the river ran so quickly on its way to the falls that no boat could escape its pull. Along the shoreline, waiting crowds spotted Annie's barrel, carried along in the raging river that became more violent as it raced towards the awful drop. The barrel spun and tumbled, slamming against rocks and waves, sometimes disappearing entirely from sight, sucking beneath the surface. A shot went up. "Here she comes!" That was repeated over and over, carrying the news downriver to the thousands waiting near the falls. This is a picture of Niagara Falls. It shows how realistically he can draw Niagara Falls. It's very beautiful. At the left, over in the corner, you can see a bucket where she is going over Niagara Falls. She says, "Oh Lord," she whispered, as then she was gone. This is Mrs. Taylor as she goes over the falls. As you can see, the crowd of people watching her and her little barrel going over Niagara Falls. This is a picture of her in the barrel as she's going over. This is a drawing of Mrs. Taylor after the fall. Reporters are interviewing her on how she came to do this experience. This picture before is very dramatic because you do not know if she is alive or dead yet. This is a picture of Annie showcasing her barrel that she went over. As she told the people, they were confused and called her grandma, saying that they didn't think she could be fearless or go over in the falls. She told them their story and got a lot of applause from all the people. Then they believed her. She turned back to the reporter. That's what everyone wonders when they see Niagara. She went on. How close will their courage let them get to it? Well, sir, you can't get any closer than I got. You ask any person who stood here, looking out at those falls, what they thought of someone going over in them in a barrel. Why, every last one would agree. It was the greatest fear ever performed. This is the author's note. It's about Annie Edson Taylor, who was born in 1838 and died in 1921, 20 years after her extraordinary trip over the falls. Talks about how she lived and how she died